The old county hospital stood on a hill overlooking the town, a grim silhouette against the dying light. Its windows, like vacant eyes, stared out at the world. There was a coldness to the place, a sense of sorrow that clung to the crumbling brick and broken windows. One night, I found myself drawn to the old hospital. The full moon hung heavy in the sky, casting long, eerie shadows across the overgrown lawn. The wind howled like a mournful spirit, urging me closer. The air grew colder as I approached the main entrance. The iron gates groaned open as if in protest, their rusted hinges screaming in the stillness. A shiver shot down my spine, but I pressed on, compelled by an unknown force. The stench of decay hit me as I stepped inside. Musty air, thick with dust and the memory of suffering, filled my lungs. The silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of my own heartbeat echoing in my ears. I felt a presence here, watching me, waiting. The old hospital was a labyrinth of darkened corridors and deserted rooms. Each room held a story, a whisper of pain and fear. I wandered through the decaying building, my footsteps echoing in the silence. In the operating room, rusted surgical instruments lay scattered on a tray. The air hung heavy with the phantom scent of antiseptic. I could almost hear the frantic whispers of surgeons, the desperate pleas of patients. The room was a chilling tableau of life and death. I pressed on, drawn deeper into the heart of the hospital. The weight of the unseen presence grew stronger, pressing down on me like a physical burden. I felt a cold dread creep into my heart, yet I couldn't turn back. Something beckoned me forward. The locals called her the Weeping Woman. Mary Weatherly, a young nurse who had worked at the hospital during its final years. They said she was dedicated, compassionate, an angel of mercy in a place of suffering. Then tragedy struck. A fire ripped through the hospital, claiming the lives of several patients, including a young boy Mary had been particularly close to. Overwhelmed with grief and guilt, Mary took her own life within the hospital walls. Some say Mary's spirit never left the hospital. They say she roams the halls, searching for the young boy she couldn't save. And those who claim to have seen her describe a woman in a white gown, her face stained with tears, her sobs echoing through the empty corridors. As I ventured deeper into the hospital, the air grew noticeably colder. A bone-chilling dampness clung to the air, seeping into my clothes and chilling me to the core. I could feel goosebumps erupt on my skin. I paused in the doorway of a darkened room. The temperature dropped significantly, and I felt an icy breath on the back of my neck. My heart pounded in my chest, a drumbeat of fear echoing in the silence. Hesitantly, I reached out a trembling hand and flicked on the light switch. The bulb sputtered, then died, plunging the room back into darkness. I was surrounded by an oppressive blackness, the silence now broken by a soft, mournful sob. Panic welled up inside me, threatening to consume me. I stumbled back, my hand frantically searching for the wall, for something solid to cling to. My eyes darted around the room, trying to pierce the darkness. Then I saw her, a faint outline in the darkness, a whisper of white against the shadows. She stood at the foot of a bed, her head bowed, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I could only watch in terror as the figure slowly raised her head, her face illuminated by a faint, ethereal light. Her eyes, filled with a bottomless sorrow, met mine. Time seemed to stop. I was trapped in the gaze of the Weeping Woman, her sorrow washing over me like a tidal wave. Fear threatened to overwhelm me, but as I stared into her eyes, I felt something else, a profound sadness, a desperate longing. She reached out a hand, her touch light as a feather. It brushed against my cheek, and I felt an icy blast, but also a strange sense of peace. It was as if she was trying to communicate, to share her burden of grief. Then, as quickly as it began, it was over. The figure faded back into the shadows, leaving me alone in the cold, dark room. The oppressive weight that had been pressing down on me lifted. The air was still and silent once more. I stood there for a moment, heart pounding, trying to process what I had just witnessed. The encounter had been brief, but the impact was profound. I had looked into the eyes of the Weeping Woman, and I had felt her pain. As the initial shock wore off, I realized I was no longer afraid. Mary Weatherly, the weeping woman, wasn't a monster. She was a soul in torment, trapped within the walls of the hospital, unable to find peace. I left the room, retracing my steps through the darkened corridors. The hospital no longer felt oppressive, but rather filled with a profound sadness. I knew then that I wouldn't tell anyone about what I had seen. Some things are meant to remain hidden, tucked away in the shadows. I emerged from the hospital into the cold light of dawn. The world seemed different, sharper, more defined. I had faced my fear, and in doing so I had encountered something both terrifying and strangely beautiful. I never forgot my night in the old county hospital. The memory of Mary Weatherly, the weeping woman, stayed with me, a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding. Did Mary find peace? Was her spirit finally laid to rest? These are questions I can't answer. Some mysteries are best left unsolved. But I know this: the haunting of the old county hospital is more than just a local legend. It's a testament to the power of grief, the enduring nature of the human spirit, and the darkness that lingers at the edge of our perception. The old county hospital still stands on the hill overlooking the town, a crumbling monument to sorrow and the mysteries that lie beyond our grasp. People still whisper about the weeping woman, her sobs echoing in the night. Some dismiss it as folklore, but others know the truth. The haunting of the old county hospital is a reminder that some wounds never truly heal, that some stories never end. And as the years pass, the legend of Mary Weatherly, the weeping woman, will continue to haunt the halls of the old hospital. A chilling reminder that some things are best left undisturbed, lost in the shadows of our collective memory. A bone-chilling tale that will forever be etched in the annals of the town's haunted history.